This is Dr. Arpana Chaturvedi from the Department of Information Technology. The subject which I am teaching is Artificial Intelligence. And within this, we are doing Unit 5, that is Lisp Programming, within which we'll talk about operators and conditional statements or decision-making constructs. So let's start with operator. As you know what the operator is. Operator is to perform some operations on the operands. Lisp also allows us to perform n number of operations using some operators. Numerous operators on data supported by various functions as well as macros and other constructs are arithmetic operators, comparison operators, logical operators, bitwise operators, and many more. So if we talk about arithmetic operator, the arithmetic operator which it supports is plus, minus. This is a symbol for finding out multiplication. This is to find out quotient, or you can say division. This is to know the remainder. This is INCF is an increment operator. DECF is a decrement operator. So in case we say that A hold the value as 10 and B as 20, so A plus B will be going to return 30. Then how we write? We write all the operation in prefix notation. This we have already seen in the earlier class. So to write in Lisp, to find out the sum of A and B, we will be writing first of all operator, that is plus, then operand, using single space as a separator. That is why to subtract we have written minus AB. So minus AB means 10 minus 20, it returned minus 10. If we find out the product, 10 into 20 becomes 200. If we divide it, it becomes 2. If we find out the modulus, it becomes 0. If we increment the value of A by 3, so A is having 10, so 10 plus 3 will going to return 13. Then if we decrement the value of A by 4, so 10, now it is 13. 13 minus 4, it will becomes 9. So this is how arithmetic operations can be done, and most importantly you have to see how it is to be written, because it is always to be written in a prefix notation form. So you should be very well aware of, and you just remember this thing. To find out the increment, we have written within parenthesis INCF A3, decrement DECF A4 within parenthesis. To find the remainder, mod BA. To find out the quotient, then division symbol BA, everything is lying within parentheses. Now see comparison operator. We know that whenever we are using comparison operator since long, while doing so many number of languages, it return either true or false. It is just to compare two values. So when we say equals to, it will check whether two values are equal or not. It is not true, it will be returning you not true. If we say slash equals to, it checks if the values of the operands are all different or not. If values are not equal, then condition becomes true. So A and B are not equal. So the symbol which we use is front slash equals to symbol. Earlier we used to use exclamation mark or less than greater than symbol, but here it is slash equals to. So this you have to notice over here. For less than and greater than, symbols are same. Less than equals to, greater than equals to. One different symbol function or operator which we use over here is max. Max is used to find out the maximum among the values given over there in the list of an argument, and minimum will return the minimum value. Like max AB, it will return 20 because 20 is maximum amongst 10 and 20. When we find out minimum, it will return 10 because among 10 and 20, 10 is the minimum number. Now see logical operator. Logical operators are AND, OR, NOT. As you know this thing that AND operator checks whether both the values are true or not. If it is true, then it returns true, otherwise it returns false. But here in Lisp, if we talk about these all operators, so if we talk about AND, it takes any number of arguments first of all. The arguments will be going to get evaluated from left to right. If all the arguments evaluated to non-nil, then the value of the last argument is going to get returned. Otherwise, nil is returned. Like in case of A and B, A is holding value nil and B is holding value B. So left to right, then what is there? Nil and 5. Right? Left to right. So we are checking and A and B. So what is there? A is holding value nil, B is holding value 5. So it will be going to return me nil, because it is written over here clearly, if all arguments evaluated to non-nil, if all arguments are evaluated to non-nil, then only it will be returning me the last argument. Otherwise, if all the arguments are non-nil or any of them is nil, then it will be going to return nil. And here one argument is nil and another is 5. That's why it will return nil. Whereas in case of OR, again it will evaluate from left to right only, but in this it will return nil in case any one of the argument is holding nil as a value. Otherwise, it will return the last value which it is having. So the argument evaluated left to right until one evaluates to non-nil. If anyone is non-nil, then it will be going to return that value. Otherwise, if they all are nil, it will be going to return nil. So in this case, one value is nil, another is 5. That's why it will be going to return 5, because one value is non-nil. So in case one value is non-nil, it will be going to return you the last value, that is 5. Not it takes one argument only and returns true if the argument evaluated as nil. So in case of A, as it is nil, it will evaluate it as nil and return true. But if we say not B, B is holding value as 5, it will be going to return false. Now, after the operators, these operators are to be used to take certain decisions. So list supports decision making statements also. Decision making constructs or statements are used to take decision at a certain time. It checks the condition. If the condition is true, it will execute the code which you want to get executed. Otherwise, it will come out from the decision making construct or the statement. So in this, various decision-making constructs supported by Lisp are COND, if, when, and case. One by one we see COND is the construct which is used to check multiple test action clauses. You can include any number of test, then action clause. This mention first test, then action. It can be compared to the nested if statement in other programming languages, similar to if nested if, wherein within if there are so many number of ifs which are to be checked. Whereas the if constructs have various forms. In simplest form, it followed by a test clause and a test action and some other consequent actions also. If the test clause evaluated to be true, then the test action is executed. Otherwise, the consequent clause which is out of the if construct will be going to get executed. Now when it is the simplest form, it is followed by a test clause and a test action. If the test clause evaluate to be true, then the test action is going to execute it. Otherwise, consequent clause will be going to get executed. Whereas if we talk about case, it is similar to switch case, wherein multiple test action clause like the con constructs will be going to taken care of. However, it evaluates a key form. You will be going to switch in a key into this. On the basis of that key, it will compare it with all the values, and whatever the key value pair is true, it will be going to execute the body section of that. One by one, we will see the example of each and every construct. Let's start with con construct. So the con construct syntax is within parenthesis, everything will be lying. The parent parenthesis which is going to get closed over here. Within this, in each and every parenthesis, you can have multiple tests successively written by the action to be taken. That if this test is true, this action is to be taken. If this test is true, this action is to be taken. And you can include multiple test action pairs over here. Fine. So you have to remember this thing. As I already explained you, it is equivalent to nested if. So each clause within the con statement consists of a conditional test and an action to be performed. If the first test clause, that is test 1, is evaluated to be true, then the related action 1 part will be going to get executed. Its value is returned and rest of the clauses will be going to get skipped. In case test 1 is evaluated to be nil, then it will go to test 2. If test 2 is true, it will evaluate the execute the action 2 and rest will be going to get skipped. Otherwise it keep on moving to the next one, as we do in if, that if this condition is true then do this, otherwise if again we say if this condition is true then do this. So it keep on checking what if the condition is true, it will be going to take action accordingly. So it is similar to nested if. Within condition there are so many number of other conditions which are to be taken care of in case first condition is returning false. Now further on we see an example. This is an example where what I have done using set q, I have set the value of variable a to 10. Now I am checking whether a is greater than 20. So is 10 is greater than 20? No. As it is not greater than 20, then definitely this statement will not be going to get executed. That is format T. Tilde percentage will going to give you a new line character. A is greater than 20. No, A is not greater than 20. Otherwise it will be going to print the value, that is value of A is 10. So this is a consequent statement which will be going to get printed. So value of A is 10. This is be printed. Then again it will check if it is if we put it in a loop, it will keep on printing till it doesn't becomes this 20. It keep on executing it. So here this we'll move see further on. If clause, if construct, what it do, it checks if this test clause is true, then it will be going to perform this action. Like in this example, you see we have again set the value of a as 10. Then I am checking if a is greater than 2, then that is 10 is greater than 2. Yes, then it will print that a is less than 20. This is not 2, just 20. Then we say 10 is less than 20, greater than 20. So 10 is greater than 20. No. Then what it will be going to print? It will going to print that a is less than 20, and the value of a is till d means it will be going to display its digital value. Digit value is 10. So that's why the output is a is less than 20, and here the value of a is 10. Consequent statement has also been printed. In another example, what I am saying now, see in another example a is 10. I am checking if a is greater than 20. So if it is true, it will return a is less than 20. Otherwise it will print value of a is a. So as 10 is not greater than 20, it will be going to return false. Hence this statement will not be going to get executed. It will come out from if construct. This is the consequent construct wherein it will be mentioning using new line. This tilde percentage will going to take your cursor to the new line. Value of a is till d means decimal number. This decimal number will be replaced by the value which is holded by a, that is 10. So this will be the output. This is a if construct. Now further on we'll see few more examples. This is when. In when, what we do, when macro is used by a test clause that evaluates to true or nil. If the test clause is evaluated to nil, then no form is going to evaluate it and nil is returned. Otherwise, it will be going to take action. So within when, this is the parent parenthesis. This is a test clause which is in one parenthesis, and action one is in another parenthesis. So we will follow this syntax. Here is an example wherein I am saying I have set the value of a as 100. I am saying is a is greater than 20, means is 100 is greater than 20. So yes, so it will print in a new line. This is a new line. In a new line, a is greater than 20. So that's why it has printed a is greater than 20. Now it will come out from when construct. This is a normal consequent statement. So it will print tilde percentage will bring the cursor in new line. Then the value of a is till d. So till d is replaced by the value of a, that is 100, and we have seen that the output is value of a is 10. This is how it works. Now we move further. This is a case construct. In this case construct, we can have multiple keys. So in the key form, we can take multiple constructs. It will be having multiple test action and clauses. Like cont construct, it evaluates a key form and allows multiple action clause based on the evaluation of the key form. So this is a key form which are keying in. It is checking if this key form is equivalent to key 1, then this statement will be going to get executed and these actions will be going to get taken place, else it will check another key value and so on. Whatever the key value is true, it will be going to take the action with respect to that. So for this we will again see an example, and in this we'll see that here we have set the value of day variable as 4. Now this is the key form, we are keying in day, and within this day different keys are being keyed in, or key forms values are keying in, that is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Any one of it if is true, then this format statement will be going to give the formatted output, which is if true, then again till percentage will be taking you to the new line. Today is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday onwards. So as it is 4, it means that this statement will be going to get true and it will print that today is Thursday. That's why it has printed today is Thursday. So this is your case construct. This is all for today. Rest we'll see in coming lecture. Thanks for the tea.